These lectures cover the models of blockchain, public, private, and hybrid. The public blockchain, as pioneered by Bitcoin, is a fully open, decentralized system. Now, the business world and various industries have a diverse needs regarding data privacy, control, and performance. So a single one-size-fits-all blockchain model doesn't work for every use case. Now, the primary ways we categorize blockchain models are based on one would be accessibility. Accessibility, which is open to everyone or restricted. Permissionless versus permission. Also control and governance. Who controls the network, such as this decentralized versus centralized or even semi-centralized. Also, data privacy will be the third major factor. Is the data public or again private? So again, understanding the different architecture and the use case. Also, not all blockchains are the same. As we said, this will be the main reason why, again, we have different models. Now, here also, however, many organizations and industries have different needs. As we said earlier, the three major categories, again, will be the accessibility, control or governance, and also data privacy. So first we start with the model one, which is the public blockchain. So a public blockchain is a permissionless. It's permissionless. So this means anyone can join the network, read the ledger, and also participate in consensus. Example here will be as a miner or validator. And also decentralized. Decentralized. So there's no central authority. The network is maintained by a global community of nodes. Also transparent. All transactions and data on the ledger are publicly visible and also auditable by anyone. And lastly, I would say immutable. It's because once a block is added, it is virtually impossible to change or delete its content or even delete its data itself. And also consensus mechanism typically uses a resource-intensive mechanism. Example will be proof of work, POW, or proof of stake, POS. This mechanism also are designed to maintain, I would say, security in a trustless environment where participants are unknown, where we don't know the participants. So example here will be the Bitcoin or Ethereum and also Solana. So with the Bitcoin, the quintessential public blockchain used for its native cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency, and also a public blockchain with smart contract functionality, enable decentralized applications, will be the Ethereum. Also, we have use cases here. Example, cryptocurrencies and digital payments, decentralized finance, another use case. Also, non-fungible tokens, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and also digital asset ownership. Also, we have a voting system where transparency and censorship resistance are very, again, critical. So what are the pros and cons for public blockchain? So we have some few advantages and disadvantages here. One of the advantages is maximum security. Again, maximum security. Highly resistance to attacks due to decentralized and also large network system. Also, scalability will be another example. Scalability issues. So that will be a disadvantage. Scalability issues. For example, low transaction speed. Example would be the Bitcoin. It's a 7 transaction per second. Also, we can say the trustless. No need to trust a central party. So trust is established through code and also cryptographic. Also, we have the privacy. So privacy will be a disadvantage. Privacy concerns all data is public, which is not suitable for confidential, let's say confidential business data. Also, censorship resistant. That's another advantage. Here we don't have a single, so there's no single entity can stop transaction. And also transparency and auditability will be another advantage. The public ledger is fully auditable and also open for everyone. Now, regulatory uncertainty also can be one. Regulatory frameworks are still involved for this open network. Another disadvantage we have is a high energy consumption. So, for example, POW chains consume significant energy. And also the volatility is another disadvantage. The native cryptocurrency can be highly volatile. So let's move to the second model, which is again is private blockchain. So a private blockchain will be the permission. So it's a permission ledger where access and participations are restricted. So it's often controlled by a single organization. So here we say participants must be invited and also verified to join the network. So the definition also says blockchain where participation is restricted and permission is required to join. So let's look at the key characteristics, then comparing with the public blockchain. So first, permission. We remember public blockchain, it's not permissionless. So participants, again, must be invited and verified to join the network. Also, we have a centralized, or we can say semi-centralized also. So a single organization or entity has control over who can join, also all the possible transactions, etc. Yeah. Often managed by a single organization or a small group of entities. So they have full control. Also a private, so since this is it's a private blockchain restriction, you must be invited before you join, restricted to the all public. Then privacy and confidential will be a very good advantage. So transactions data can be kept private among the participants, again, opposite to public blockchain. Also, it's fast, can achieve very high transaction speed. Also, and also uses more efficient, lightweight mechanisms, like we have practical bicycle fault tolerance. That is the PBFT, practical bicycle fault tolerance. Since again, participants are known. Or we can say as participants are trusted. So example here, we have few example we can see, or the use case, I would say, let's start with the use case, can be internal enterprise record keeping. Also supply chain management, where only partners need to see data. Auditing and compliance within a single organization. So example can be Hyperledger, a fabric. We have the R3 coder. Yeah. Another use case can be supply chain management also. Supply chain management, interbank settlements. So these are the advantages of the private blockchain. As we said, high performance, very fast and scalable, privacy. Since this is, you must be invited in order to participate. So privacy is very good. Ideal for confidential data where you only want no parties to see transaction. Yeah. Again, ideal for confidential data where you only want no other parties to see transactions. Also, it's cost effective and also regulatory compliancy, easier to integrate with existing regulations as participants know. So these are the disadvantages we have. One is less decentralized. So it relies on trust in a central party or again, consortiums. So again, less decentralized. And also data privacy was advantage. And here we say less disadvantage will be less secure. Smaller number of nodes make it more vulnerable to attacks. And also lack immutability. So a central administrator could potentially alter the ledger. Also, a censorship, here we say a network administrator can censor or also alter the transaction. Also, regulatory compliance. So this will be more easier to integrate with an existing regulation due to no participants, etc. So next will be the consortium blockchain. So here we say a variation of a private, again, blockchain. So a consortium blockchain is a type of also a permission blockchain where control is shared among a group of pre-selected organizations. This is where the term consortium. So we have some few characteristics here. The key characteristic will be semi-decentralized. It's a semi-decentralized. Control is distributed among multiple members of consortium, not a single entity. And also permission. Only the members of the consortium can join the network and also validate transactions. Also, we have the share governance. So decisions are made collectively by the consortium members, only the consortium members. Confidential also is very important here. Data can be private among the members or the consortium members, but not fully public. It's not public. So we have example here again as the R3 coder, often used by bank consortia, and also Quorum, JB Morgan's blockchain platform also. So that's an enterprise-focused version of Ethereum for private transactions. That's the Quorum for JB Morgan's. Then the use cases here can be interbank settlements. So banks normally collaborate to streamline payments. Also supply chain network, multiple companies, example can be manufacturers, distributors, and retailers sharing a ledger. Also, it can be in a healthcare consortia. So here, hospitals and insurance companies securely share data. Yeah. Now, relationship to private blockchain in terms of the consortium, we can say that a consortium blockchain is a specific type of private blockchain. The key difference is the distributed among multiple entities instead of single one. So private blockchain is single and a consortium group of members, or we use the term again. So that's why we use the term consortium here. So the model 3, which is the last one, will be the hybrid blockchain. So again, the term hybrid, combination of both public and private blockchain element. So hybrid blockchain is a combination of both, again, both concepts, the public and private blockchain element, offering a balance between, we see a balance between transparency and also privacy, transparency of privacy. So let's look at the key characteristics. First, we can say is customizations, customized. So allow users to decide which data is public and also which remains private. So hybrid, some data may be public, some data may be private. Also here we mention selective transparency. So here we can store confidential data on a private chain, but use a public chain for verification. That's a very good, or proof. Also auditing, or as we said, proving the existence of a record. Example here can be hashing a document and putting the hash on a public chain. So that's the whole concept. Now, a company might also keep its internal supply chain data on a private chain, but publish a cryptographic proof or a hash of the key milestones on a public chain. Like example, we mentioned Ethereum also. Basically to provide public verification without revealing sensitive details. So example can be the Dragon chain. And this will be a platform that allows businesses to build a private blockchains with secure connection to a public blockchain. So what are the pros and cons for hybrid blockchain? Here we say first advantage is the flexibility. So combining privacy for sensitive data at the same time with public transparency of, or I would say public transparency. Also, increase complexity will be the disadvantage. So, more difficult to design, implement, and also manage. So that will be the disadvantage. More difficult to design. Most important to manage also. Then another advantage is improved scalability. The private component handle high transaction volume efficiently. And then we have a lack of true decentralization, which would be disadvantage, no true decentralization. So still relies on a trusted party for private components. Then we have the interoperability. Interoperability. Here we say it can interact with both public and private networks. So that's a good advantage. Then security is a trade-off. That will be our last disadvantage. So the overall security is limited by the trust in private component. So here we have our comparison table for the public blockchain, private blockchain, and hybrid blockchain. So in this lectures, again, we cover the main models and the 3 main models here. And we say the models of a blockchain. So we have the public, private, and hybrid. So first, let's look one feature. In terms of access, as we mentioned earlier, public blockchain is permissionless, open for everybody, or open for the public. Then private is restricted. Hybrid, as we said, is mixed. Some data may be private and some may be public. Then control. Yeah, public, we say, is fully decentralized. Private is centralized or semi-centralized. But hybrid, again, is mixed. Then in terms of comparisons, with the control, transparent, speed, again, we can see or let's go through one more. Let's talk about the speed. Now, in terms of public blockchain, speed is very slow, 70. Private, very fast. And hybrid blockchain, fast in private part. So as we know, private part is fast, public is slow. The use case, again, cryptocurrency for public blockchain, enterprise supply chain. Hybrid is flexible. Hybrid is flexible. So that's the comparison. So in terms of access, let's go back. Access, control, transparency, speed, consensus, and also use cases for the three major models of the blockchain. Again, public, private, and hybrid. So choosing the right model. Now, choosing the right model, we can say it depends. We may have some few key consideration. For example, trust and governance can be one. Issue of privacy. So if I need a highly privacy, maybe I may go with private or maybe hybrid, but public maybe no. Not maybe, again, public, yeah. So we have to look, I would say, trust and governance, data privacy, also performance. Performance can be something we have to consider. Censorship resistance also is important, and also the cost. So these are the main key consideration before we choose the right model. And we can go through this list here. Public, choose this model if trustlessness or transparency, censorship resistance are your top priority. No sensitive data, so public is good. In terms of private, choose this model if privacy is important. High performance, we say privacy is more faster. And also known participants are a must. So this will be ideal for internal business processes. Very sensitive data, highly secure. Then hybrid will be, as we said, a mixture of public. We may have some section public, some section private. So you choose this model if you need a balance between privacy and public verification. Then we also talk about a consortium. Choose this model if you need a shared ledger among a group of trusted organizations. So this is also a private, but as we said earlier, maybe a group of some members, not single, decentralized. Okay, so that will be the conclusion of this lecture. So in this lecture again, we cover the concept of the blockchain models, private, consortium, public, and also hybrid. Again, if you have any question, feel free to ask it. Thank you very much.